scientists have just given a warning. California supervolcano is the real danger, and not the Yellowstone supervolcano. Both of them, of course, are on the Pacific Ring of Fire. This giant supervolcano, hidden beneath California, could be an equal, if not greater, threat than Yellowstone. They're both supervolcanoes, and scientists are giving warnings. The Long Valley caldera in eastern California is 20-mile long, one of the world's largest volcanic calderas. We see pictures of them here. These various holes that you see are the fissures. Here we are, aerial view of them, right in a straight line, as you can see. It erupted about 760,000 years ago. And coming up, you'll see the ash field is just about as big as the Yellowstone ash field was as well. The supervolcano measures about 10 miles in width and is up to 3,000 feet deep. Very few people know that it's a supervolcano east of the Sierra Nevada range, and it makes it potentially greater threat than Yellowstone. The study published in August in the science journal Geoscience World has found evidence of ground deformation. The ground is changing in the supervolcano, and that's, well, we know that volcanoes are always active and changing, but this is not good news. Geologists who led the study found ongoing uplift. That suggests that new magma may be intruding into the reservoir since at least 1978. And this uplift could be evidence of moving molten rock or the crystallization of material deep beneath the ground. The scientists say despite 40 years of diverse investigations, the presence of large volumes of melt in Long Valley's magma reservoir remain unresolved. Scientists estimate the Long Valley caldera reserves contain considerable quantities of melt, likely greater than 240 cubic miles. That's 1,000 cubic kilometers. Astonishing. About 27% of this melt could be hot enough to be scorching liquid rock. According to the United States Geological Survey, Long Valley last erupted about 100,000 years ago. The caldera today is thermally active, with a number of hot springs, fumaroles dotting its landscapes, and it looks much like Yellowstone. But when compared to Yellowstone, this volcano does not stop there, because Long Valley could potentially be as devastating if it were to erupt. Yellowstone's last caldera-forming eruption tore through the United States about 640,000 years ago. And as we mentioned before, Long Valley was about 760,000 years, so it's about 100 years before that, 100,000 years before that. The terrifying blast from the current 35-mile, 50-mile Yellowstone supervolcano caldera, there is no way for USGS scientists to predict when such an eruption will occur again in the future. The odds of California supervolcano erupting appear to be less than 1% per year. What the USGS said is this: increased volcanic unrest, including earthquake swarms, ground deformation, and CO2 gas emissions in the Long Valley area since 1980 have increased, and they increase the chance of eruption occurring in the near future. Scientists, however, still lack adequate data to reliably calculate by how much. Well, obviously, they have no way of knowing, but they do see signs such as uplift, meaning that the magma chamber is filling underneath. We recently had the Kilauea eruption. We saw that happening there too. And that was going on, erupting for over 3 months. Volcanic unrest in some other large volcanic systems persists for decades, USGS says, or even centuries, without leading to an eruption. But since volcanic unrest can escalate to an eruption quickly, in a few weeks, days, or less, USGS scientists are monitoring the activity closely. USGS scientists said the odds of Long Valley blowing up are roughly equivalent to the yearly odds of a magnitude 8 earthquake striking along the San Andreas fault line in California. Long Valley is one of the 3 supervolcanoes in North America alongside Yellowstone and Valley Caldera in New Mexico. Well, we also know that the Wawa, the Springs volcano there, is even bigger than all this. And we saw that there was a report that the Long Valley supervolcano was found to have 240 cubic miles of magma underneath it. The supervolcano in California erupted with devastating results, we said about 760,000 years ago, and has a vast reservoir of semi-molten magma measuring a staggering 240 cubic miles. This is what the new USGS study has revealed. The amount of magma in Long Valley is so large it could support an eruption equivalent to the massive one which occurred back in 767,000 years ago. That released 140 cubic miles of material into the atmosphere, covering most of the United States. By comparison, the 1980 Mount St. Helens eruption resulted in the release of 0.29 cubic miles. So 0.29 cubic miles compared to 140 cubic miles, you can imagine. While Long Valley caldera is unlikely to blow soon, the report written by scientists from the USGS, the University of California, and University of Rhode Island said, we can conclude the mid-crustal reservoir is still melt-rich. We estimate the reservoir currently contains enough melt to support another super eruption comparable to the size of the caldera formation eruption in 767 Ka, that is 767,000 years ago. So we estimate, they say, this is important, the reservoir currently contains enough melt to support another super eruption comparable in size to the caldera forming eruption that happened 767,000 years ago. So that's what they claim. The report was published in the Geological Society of America. It stresses there is no need to start panicking. They say this volume and a relatively high melt fraction in no way ensures that the magma is eruptible. The team used cutting-edge techniques to inspect the volcano, enabling them to reach their stunning conclusions. I'll leave links below for you for this on Express UK.